Namaskar. Today's burning topic is why Indian rupee is consistently depreciating, contrasting to the US dollar. So now let's discuss what are the prime reasons behind it, that is the depreciation of Indian rupee, Indian currency to the standard US dollar. So guys, if you see 1947 when we got independence, the for $1 the Indian rupee value was 4 rupees only 4 rupees. So now you see in the 2025 we are going to end it the year 2025. The value now hits the worst ever, that is 80 crosses 89 rupees per dollar. So consistently the valuation of Indian rupee currency depreciating for years together. So now we shall discuss what are the prime reasons, main reasons behind this depreciation. So if you see, first one is inflation difference. So when if we compare the inflation rate of US and India, we will see the inflation rate stands at 2.5 to 3% in US, whereas in India the inflation rate is 4 to 6%. RBI is taking necessary steps to make it control in around 4 to 6%. So when inflation is stable at USA, and as we are developing country, and the inflation is not under appreciable control. So when we import foreign products, imports, then we have to pay in US dollar. So we have to convert our Indian rupee to dollar to make it easier in transaction process. So when we are converting this process, converting the rupee to dollar, so obviously the demand for dollar increases. When demand, if you apply the demand and supply rule, then what will happen? If the demand of dollar increases, then the rupee value decreases. That is, inflation is also a prime reason behind the depreciation of Indian currency. Number two, if we see a trade deficit, when we are talking about trade deficit, we are exporting other countries our products, and we are also importing some valuable products which are necessary in Indian context. So the deficit between the export and import for Indian context is trade deficit. We are still we are going struggling in trade deficit. When trade deficit occurs, again the same reason, the demand for dollars increases. In the international market, we trade in dollar. Although IMF, Indian Monetary Fund, has set 5 currencies as trade, but still most of the countries they depend upon dollar to carry out their transactions in import and export arena. So when trade deficit occurs, that means the strength of dollar increases, and obviously our local currency, Indian currency, the value also decreases. This is one of the reasons why Indian rupee depreciates. Then the third point is global oil price. This is obviously the main reason in present context. You see, for the geopolitical problems, Russia, Ukraine, Syria, and then US and Russia, US, China. So the geopolitical reasons are behind it for the soar of oil price in the global market. So when we talk about oil import in Indian context, with the Indians import 85% of our consumption of crude oil from different countries. In the global market, we have to pay the dollar. Again, a great exchequer of Indian money is being spent in buying the oil products, oil and oil products, crude oil basically. Because when we import crude oil, we have to spend a lot of dollar because it is our main problem, because we don't have as much of what oil resources in India, refineries in India. There are still some refineries are in India. They are they are doing their business, but in more context, we are importing more, and so we have to spend more and more dollar. So this is also one of the main reasons in the present context, present scenario, why the Indian rupee is depreciating, and it hits 89, and some economists are apprehending that it will also hit 90 and it will cross 90 also. They are apprehending that. So next, FII outflows, foreign investors, those foreign institutional investor, when they investing their monies there in India, as they are seeing an opportunity, as India is developing and GDP is growing well in India, so they are parking their funds in Indian market. But what we see that in the recent years, in 2026, most of the FI, foreign investors, institutional investor, they withdrawing their money from the Indian market, Indian share market. So when they withdraw their money, they withdraw in Indian rupees and they finally convert it into dollar. When they convert their rupees into dollar, then the demand for dollar is also increases. So what happens? Again, the demand of dollar increases, and when dollar increases, then it weakens the Indian value. Indian currency depreciates. It is also one of the reasons. Second reason is that US market is stable. Then the Federal Bank of US also increasing the interest rate. When they are increasing their interest rate, the central bank increasing their interest rate, then again the foreign institutional investors, they withdraw their money from the share market of Indian market, and they feel that their money will be safer in investing their money in the US market, because they receive good amount of interest there. So they also again withdrawing their investment invested money from Indian companies from the Indian share market, which also increases the which also strengthens the dollar. So these are certain reasons that we are facing, or we are struggling, or Indian currency is struggling a little bit, but still it's not has been worsened, because India is a developing country. We are developing, and most of the developing country, they this kind of situation in depreciation of their currency, India is also facing that. But why it is not worsened? So it is not so bad, because we have spent most of the Indian economy is very stable, and it is going faster than any other countries. The last quarter GDP is stands at 8.2% consistently 6 terms. GDP rate is increasing so far. And the one more thing is, India has a good substantial amount of foreign monies, US dollar parking, forex exchange, $600 billion, above $600 billion, which also stabilizes our economy. and our banking is very one of the finest. They are modernizing their policies. They also their NPA level is also consistently decreasing, and economics is very sound today in Indian context of view. So most of the cases we see the geopolitical issues, global tensions, war tensions, and the soar in crude oil prices. So these are the certain conditions and inflation that we discussed here. These are the certain problems, issues that helps our Indian currency to depreciate. So this is one of the short video. I want to make you understand why Indian currency rupee is consistently decreasing year by year, and recently today it hits 89, crosses the 89 rupees per dollar. Then it also may meet the 90, it may cross the 90 values. So our RBI has to take a little bit of concern about this, and some more policies we can apprehend that RBI, Reserve Bank of India, will take some necessary steps to control it, to ramifications of certain conditions and terms and conditions to make the Indian economy to go even more faster and stabilize economy, and we have to control the inflation rate, and also government also modernize some facilities or some policies, so that foreign institutional investor they can again come back to India to invest their money, so that our economy and our share market and success will grow, and which will reflect in our economy. Thank you. Have a nice day.